right, so we have the title page formatted the way we want. Let's move on to the body, setting up the body for our template. So first line of page 2 is going to start off with our title. So go up to the title placeholder, highlight that. You have two options. You can right click and copy, or Control C on your keyboard, or Command C if you're a Mac user, and then go down to the first line. Two options yet again, right click and paste, or Control V or Command V, depending on your preference. All right. And then now we're on this next line. I'm going to type a placeholder. This is where we would put our essay or our research, whatever the case. Type here. Now, you should notice that it's not indented. In APA, you want your paragraphs indented. All right, so what we're going to do is go up to the ruler. There are two icons, a rectangle and a triangle. We're going to focus on the rectangle. If you hover over it, it should say first line indent. So click and drag that to the right until it says 0.50. Okay? So, should be good. So, I could have pushed tab just to indent, but I would have to do that for every single paragraph. But you will see that once I start typing and I want to start a new paragraph, pushing the period, then enter, it will naturally indent. If I had pushed the tab key on my keyboard for that first paragraph, I would have to continue to push tab for every paragraph after that to make sure it indents. But now it's naturally set. Okay, so before we move on from this, we want to make sure that Times New Roman 12-point font, double space, and first line indented are going to be the style for the normal text. Everything is normally typed that way, formatted that way. So we'll go over to the left. It says normal text and styles right now. So this gives you a list of how things are going to be formatted, and none of it is the way we want it. Normal text looks like Arial 11. No, we don't want that. So instead, we want to update that format to match what we have here. So we'll go with that second option, update normal text to match. Okay, now two things have happened. One, the normal text format has changed. Okay. Two, if you didn't notice, this title placeholder has shifted because it's taken on that ½ inch. So simply highlight that, take that rectangle and pull it back over to 0. And you should notice that this is still untouched, unaffected. Okay, so we're good. So we'll type there. Now, the rest of this information might not affect you, might not concern you, but some of you will be responsible for drafting some longer written pieces like research papers, theses. And for that reason, you're going to need sections, and those sections will need section headings. And in APA, you'll need to format those sections a certain way. And so to help us do that, I first need to split my screen. So let's see if we can do some transforming here. There we go. All right, so to the left, you'll see a page from the APA style manual online. And we see how level 1 heading. So that's the main heading. That's the thing, that's the heading, that the section that opens up everything. Everything else fits within that. Okay? And then section 2, or the level 2 heading, fits within level 1. Okay, so let's try to do a level 1 heading. Let's say that I'm doing a research paper and I have an introduction. The introduction is a big section, but I want to label it as introduction. So I'll type the title, introduction, and according to this formatting guide, the title should be centered, bolded, and in title case heading. Remember, title case, every major word is going to be capitalized. Every word that's 4 letters or more will be capitalized. Every word immediately after a colon is going to be capitalized. So let's first, oh, look at that. You see how that's in line with that indentation? We want to remove that indentation, bring it back over to 0. Otherwise, the centering will be off. So let's bold it. Let's center it. And it's already capitalized the way it needs to be capitalized. Okay, so we want all of our level 1 headings to be formatted that way. How can we do that? I don't want to have to remember it. So we'll go over to normal text, scroll down to heading 1, which is the same as level 1 heading. And we don't want that format because that is not 12-point font and it's probably not spaced the right way. So we want to update this format to match what we just typed. Okay, if you go back, you'll see that it's been formatted. Press enter and you should be able to type regular. So let's type a regular placeholder there. So let's say now within the introduction, I have a subsection. It's broken down into a subsection. So for that reason, that subsection is going to have a level 2 heading, different from the level 1. So I'm running out of creativity for my titles, so I'm just going to say subsection. Okay. And so level 2, according to the left, needs to be flush left, so that's not centered, left aligned, bolded, and title case. Okay, so basically the same thing, but just not centered. So we're going to bold it. It's already to the left. It's already capitalized the right way. Okay, now we need to lock it in as the formatting for heading 2. So go down to heading 2, update heading 2 to match. Press enter. Let's see what we got here. Oh, let me see if you've identified the mistake here. I'll type here. Now notice, remember that all of these type here are indented, but subsection, that heading should not be indented. It should be all the way over to the left. Well, what do we need to do? Highlight subsection, highlight that title, and we're going to bring that 0.5 left first line indent all the way back over to 0. And now we need to update that heading 2. Now every time we type a level 2 heading, it's going to be like that. Okay? So we have the main title of the whole paper. Any other words there? If you were working on a regular, so not a lengthy paper, then this will be all that you would need for the body of your paper. However, if you were working on a lengthier paper like a thesis or a research paper, you would then also need the level 1 and level 2 headings. You might even, depending on how long your thesis is and how complicated or compartmentalized it is, you might need level 3 or level 4. And you can figure out how to do that. But you can type your text there, will naturally indent. Subsection, naturally indent. If you wanted to add another subsection, let's say that subsection 2. You don't have to worry about the indentions right now. Subsection 2, click it, and look, it moves it over automatically. Okay, and then back to my regular stuff. All right, last but not least, you're ready to set up the references. So I inserted just a blank line right there, and then we'll need to insert a nice page break. So with the page break, again, it's going to be a clean cut. It's going to make sure that no matter what you type in the body, your reference pages will always start on its own page. There won't be any overlap. So you can do insert, break, page break, or you can just go with Control Enter or Command Enter. And now you're ready to set up your references.